And the LA Clippers even the series with the Mavs and Dallas. Kawhi Leonard looking like Kawhi Leonard again, putting up 29, 10, and 3. Paul George did his thing too, 29 and 3. PG on his PIC.
I think we both, just have done a great job just complimenting each other. He's been all out driving, attacking, putting pressure on. They're bigs at the rim, and myself as well. When he needs a break, he needs a breather. Now I'm in attack mode, and I'm trying to give him a break. So I think we're just doing a great job countering each other, it's fun. This is ultimately what we wanted to get to, being able to share the court together and do it on both ends together.
All right, so the Clippers have turned things around behind some stellar play by Kawhi, who's averaged over 35 while shooting over 70% from the field the last 3 games. Hey now, Kawhi, first player to average 35 points while shooting 70% over a 3-game span in the playoffs since the shot clock era began in the 50s. Max Kellerman, Are you no longer concerned about your boy Kawhi and those Clippers?
I've never been concerned about Kawhi. Kawhi, as I keep saying, is one of the greatest postseason performers ever. There are very few who have ever played who are as good under pressure as Kawhi. No, I'm never worried about Kawhi. He's just not a point forward. He's not a point guard. He's a scoring 2 or 3. That's what he does. He'll make everyone around him better. He's an offensive and defensive weapon, and he's twice been the best player on championship teams, 2 different franchises. I've never been worried about Kawhi, Stephen A. I was worried about Ty Lue because I couldn't understand. Adjustments needed to be made, right? And I couldn't understand why Rondo is getting 19, 20 minutes a game. And I thought that was the adjustment Ty Lue was going to make. It wasn't. Rondo got his same 19, 20 minutes. And by the way, he was his same excellent self. Like Rondo is playoff Rondo, whether you play him for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. He's excellent. But Ty Lue did make an adjustment. He went small. Batum got the lion's share of the minutes that were going to bigs before. And that made the difference. Luka being hurt, obviously. But Ty Lue's adjustment made the difference. Kawhi is not that kind of player. He's not. You could say, well, LeBron could be like a coach. That's not Kawhi. He's not a point forward. He's not going to run your offense. He's going to do Kawhi, which is basically never miss a shot and play great defense. That's what he does. I'm not worried about him. It's Ty Lue, and he showed something last night.
I was scared because I got love for Ty Lue and his coaching staff because I've known them for years. I was scared, and I love me some Paul George as a person just as much as a player. I was scared to death. Clippers about to get swept. You got to win game, but I knew because I texted Michael Irvin. I saw him sitting in the suite, and I saw him in there, and I said, oh, they're going to lose this game. I said, they're going to lose this game. The minute I saw all them damn Cowboys in there, I said, Dallas ain't winning this game.
What is wrong with you?
I said, I'm not right. Dak Prescott was in attendance. Michael Irvin was in the suite.
His nickname's the Playmaker, right?
Well, yeah, that's why. I said, you don't show up to the Dallas Mavericks. Don't contaminate them people like that. Don't do that. That's what happened. But I will tell you this. Charles Barkley's right. I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are winning another game this series. And I went from being scared that the Clippers were on the verge of getting swept to saying Dallas Mavericks ain't going to win another game this series. Here's why. Kawhi looks sensational over the last 2 games. And he did something that I wanted him to do, which he called on the team to just clamp down, be better defensively, spoke up. That's a good thing, galvanizing the troops. Remember, I've never complained about his numbers, never complained about his ability, is that ability to lead, which LeBron and others have done, which I thought he was sorely lacking. All right, still got something to prove in that regard, but it is what it is. Kristaps Porzingis, I don't want to hear another word about him. He's just not that dude. He's just not that dude. 7 points last night. 18 points last night, 7 points in game 3, 18 meaningless points last night. You're minus 21 when you're on the court. Luka Doncic has nerve damage in his neck. I don't know how you get over that in the next week. Nerve damage in your neck. And I appreciated Charles.
That hurts me, you just saying it.
I appreciated Shaq giving him props for playing hurt the way that he did. We really should appreciate Luka being out there and really
doing what he could do, whatever he could do.
You could see it was a struggle for him to lift his head up. It was a struggle for him to lift his head up. He was hurting that bad. but he had no help. And then that brings me to Dallas. And anybody that knows me knows I go back a very long ways with Rick Carlisle, who I got a lot of love for. We've known Mark Cuban for years. We got a lot of love for Mark Cuban. He's a friend of this show. I got to say this about them. If you lose these playoffs, it will be 6 times in the last 10 years since you won the title, since you beat LeBron and D-Wade in Miami, Max, in 2010, 2011. It's been 10 years. This year, if you lose in the first round, it will mark the 6th time you've been bounced out in the first round. And the other 4 times you never even made the playoffs. I mean, damn. We just gonna sit there and just ignore that?
I think
we just gonna gloss over that? Over the last 10 years, 4 no appearances and 6 first round exits. And that's it. At some point in time, we got to sit up there and say, Rick Carlisle, Mark Cuban, what's up with that?
Look.
What's up with that?
Well, I mean, what's up with it now is they have hurt stars. Now, number one, what you say about Porzingis is true. Everything I used to say about Porzingis, injury has meant, and it's injury again this year, has meant he's just not built that way, 7'3". Injury has meant that every year he has to try to get back to where he was the year before, so he never gets any better. In fact, he's backsliding, and he had a bad game. You're right. I thought one day he could win an MVP. No, I don't think that anymore because of his health. But also, Luka, that's the biggest story here to me, is not even this series. When I hear nerve damage, nerve damage, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Right. Is this something this dude's going to have to deal with from now on?
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm not thinking like that.
I am.
I'm not thinking like that. I'm just thinking about it. It ain't gonna get much better for the rest of the series.
I think they could.
That's much. I think that's safe.
I think on heart they could get a game, but they're going to lose a series.
Listen, I want to give Marcus Morris props, not because of last night. What that brother did in Game 3 down the stretch, left corner, not 1, not 2, but 3 big-time threes. That's what really, really propelled them to that victory in Game 3, because they were still in trouble with Luka giving them over 40. But in the end, Porzingis, man, he's a 7-3 jump shooter, and that's even suspect at times. Just a weak performance on his part.
Question for you.
You expect more. Help out Luka in some capacity.
Yep.
He ain't doing
Question for both of you quickly here. Do you think it was a mistake for the Knicks to get rid of him now? I know you were hard on the Knicks for that. Given
his injury history, I in retrospect, I probably still wouldn't have traded him. I mean, like, it's too knowing what we know now, yes, of course. But it's too tantalizing because I keep hoping as a fan of his originally when I was a Knicks fan and he was on the Knicks. One of these years, he's going to get healthy at the right time and have a run in the playoffs. But it's like you're rolling the dice. You hope the injury takes place early and then doesn't reoccur and he can build some momentum. It never seems to work out that way.
So it sounds like they made the right move.
According to what I was told at the time, he went into their office and essentially blackmailed them. He let them know, I don't want to be here. I want out. If you keep me here, then I'm simply going to let it be known that I don't want to be here.
Get anything for
and no free agents will want to come here. So under those conditions, they had no choice.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. If it's false, somebody lied. But that was the story.
But what about from a basketball perspective?
From a basketball perspective, listen, I don't have a problem with him being gone because I'm looking at him and I'm saying, where are you? I mean, these are weak. Listen, when Luka Doncic is not just a ball player. He's a baller. He gets in your face. You too short. You too slow. You too fat. You can't mess with me. He talks and he backs it up when healthy. And he's got people, or at least one guy that's supposed to be the number 2, that on far too many occasions does not show up to help him.
The issue with Porzingis is you have to commit money to him at that time. And given his health, you can't have that number invested in a league with a cap, even if it's a soft cap. You can't devote that much of your team's financial resources to someone who's not going to be there. And when he is there, it's frequently compromised. Now, last year in the playoffs, you see why they did it. Because until he got hurt, he was giving them 35. He was like, oh, my God, Paul George, if you could be a second banana like that, you could win a championship. So it's tantalizing.
Yeah.
But at this point, it just seems like if he ever puts it together, you may have to spend his whole career waiting for him to do it one time, and it's not worth it.
All right. And as far as this series, Stephen A. again says he does not see the Mavericks winning another game.
Barkley deserves credit because Barkley's the one that said he beat me to it because our first take didn't start
Shout out to
until
Sir
this
Charles.
morning. But Charles Barkley said it last night, and I said, damn.
You co-signed.
He beat me to it.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was going
Who's
to say.
going to
This
stop the
retweeted.
Clippers if they get by the Mavs? Who's going to stop them until the conference
Well,
finals?
I think if they listen, don't they play Utah next?
Yeah.
If Utah gets past Memphis, which I believe they will, it's Utah next.
You like Utah over the Clippers?
Right now, I would have to say that.
I don't.
Yeah, right now, I'd have to say that.
It's going to be a good series.
Utah's a different beast.
That'll be a good matchup. We'll see.
Time will
Utah's a
tell.
different beast.
All right, guys. Up next with the Knicks on the brink of elimination.
No, it's
Stephen
Denver,
A's
Portland, isn't it?
Very concerned. What are the Knicks' chances moving forward? Find out that next. And he's back. He told you Chris Paul shook off any injury concern and led the Suns to a much-needed victory over the Lakers. What's at stake for Chris Paul if he doesn't get out of the first round? Don't miss that debate.
This is Stephen B. Smith today.